Hello and welcome back. It's me from a financial firm. Today, we'll be doing a quick recap of the previous day, as well as looking ahead to the key events and economic releases scheduled for today. So let's start with the key economic releases that we had yesterday. We also had the ISM manufacturing PMI, which came in at 47.6 in December, below both the previous month's figure of 49.4 as well as the market expectations of 48.5. A reading below 50 indicates a contraction in the sector, and this is the first time the index has fallen below the 50 level since August of 2020. Now, in terms of the currency market, the biggest mover yesterday was the Japanese yen. We saw JPY fall from above 131.5 to below 131.0 after Japanese central bank kept its policy unchanged, maintaining the negative interest rate of -0.1% and also keeping the cap on the 10-year government bond yield. This move was widely expected by the markets, and as such there was very little reaction after the announcement. However, the Japanese yen did strengthen against the euro, with JPY falling from above 174.0 to below 173.0. So what can we expect today? Well, the main event will be the release of the Eurozone's Q4 GDP data. The market is expecting a year-on-year growth of 0.3% and a quarter-on-quarter growth of 0.1%. If the data comes in better than expected, we could see the euro rise against the yen, as this would indicate that the European economy is more resilient than previously thought and could potentially delay the European Central Bank's pivot to a less restrictive monetary policy. On the other hand, if the data comes in worse than expected, we could see the euro fall against the yen. In addition to the GDP data, we also have the preliminary inflation data for the Eurozone. The market is expecting the inflation rate to remain unchanged at 10.1%. But more importantly, we will be looking for any signs of a slowdown in inflation pressures, as this will give us clues about the future direction of monetary policy. Other than that, we have several ECB officials scheduled to speak today, including the ECB President Christine Lagarde. So we will be listening out for any comments on the recent developments in the economy and inflation, as well as the future path of monetary policy. So in terms of the technical outlook, JPY is currently trading around 173.0, which is just above the 1-month low of 170.57. The pair remains below the 200-day moving average, which is at 174.72, and the RSI is below the 50 level, indicating that the short-term trend is down. The next support level is at 170.0, which is the 1-year low, followed by 170.0, which is the 2020 low. The next resistance level is at 174.0, followed by 175.0, which is the 200-day moving average. So in conclusion, while the GDP data is the main event today, it is also worth noting that the Bank of Japan's policy decision and the preliminary inflation data for the Eurozone will also be important releases to watch out for. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.